But who better than me?
Welcome back to Base Talks. Like and subscribe and share with friends, colleagues, relatives, associates, enemies, and all in between. Don't want to have a big long intro on this one. Not long ago, I had the opportunity to speak with Justis Huni while he's prepping for his Matchroom debut against Andrew Tabiti, taking place in Cancun, Mexico. It's on the Rocky Hernandez and Oshaki Foster undercard. So it's a big platform, big opportunity. Without further ado, check out the interview. This is Base the Kid, the hardcore casual, and I'm delighted to be joined by 7-0 heavyweight prospect Justis JPH Huni. Justis, how you doing, man? How's training going?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Training's going good over here. I can't complain really. It's been very nice weather over here, and the training's going well.
So, how long have you been in Cancun?
Not long. We got here Saturday night, so this is my first week here.
Okay, how's jet lag treating you?
It's been a little bit rough, but I think I'm on the back end of it now, and I'm starting to get some more sleep now, and I'm able to stay up during the day a lot more. So, yeah, I think I'm on the back end of it.
That's good. Okay, so before I get into the fight that you've got upcoming, I just want to sort of go back a little bit to I guess where it all started for you. Like, you've got quite a deep amateur background. You just want to tell us a little bit about, sort of some of your achievements in the amateurs and ultimately why boxing.
Yeah, so I think the start of when I was coming out was the 2017 Youth World Championships over in Russia. I won a gold medal over there, and then I went on to win a bronze medal at the 2019 Elite World Championships, and I've won probably 3 or 4 just into smaller international tournaments. I've won a few gold medals in those. So yeah, I've travelled around and I've fought a lot of good amateurs that are now have stepped up to the pro ranks and are doing well in the pros. So yeah, hopefully meet up with them again in the near future.
Okay, well, look, you were a pretty highly touted prospect when you turned over into the heavyweight division. Now, I was lucky enough to see your pro debut, and if I'm not mistaken, I think you hold a record at the moment as being one of the only people, especially at the heavyweight division, to win the Australian heavyweight title in their first pro fight. And I think you was fighting Faiga Apelu. Do you just want to tell me a little bit about that experience and how sort of that felt for you just in that time?
That was a big moment for me, especially coming out of. I had qualified for the 2020 Olympics at that point, and I needed to keep progressing. And due to COVID going on at the time, we weren't able to get any amateur fights, so we made the decision to turn pro and keep my boxing skills and my craft up to date and progressing. So yeah, that came about, and I think because of my amateur background, I was able to secure that fight on debut for the Australian heavyweight title.
So how'd that one feel for you? Like, obviously that's a pretty big achievement. That's the equivalent of our British title over here. And it's like normally they say when you come into the game, there's normally steps. We don't usually get to go for the British straight away. You got to sort of build your way up regionally, then you get to that and then sort of push on from there. So, I mean, how did it feel to basically, take that such a big step in your pro debut and ultimately not even just win, but get a stoppage as well?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't really think too much about it, especially because I had done a lot of work with Belu in the past, and we'd done a lot of sparring, a lot of rounds together. So yeah, it kind of just felt like another sparring session to me. But yeah, it was really good to be able to secure that opportunity to fight for Australian title on my debut, especially against a tough guy like Apollo. So I'm just grateful to be given that opportunity.
Fair enough, fair enough. Well, look, so I've seen some of your fights. I haven't been fortunate enough to see all of them, but I've seen three. So I saw that debut fight. I saw your fight against Paul Gallen. That one seemed to be one of the first fights where you had almost a bit like a bit of a rivalry going into it from what I saw. I saw some of the back and forth in the lead up to that. Could you just tell me what was that like, and did that sort of bring out an extra layer in you in having someone that was like a domestic rival at the time?
It wasn't really from my end. Um, yeah, I think Gallon he's just really good at selling a fight, pretty much. And yeah, I was just going along with it. So there wasn't very much of a rivalry from my end. It was all business, pretty much. Um, but yeah, once you get in the ring, it's all the talking stops, and you get to display all your skills and um, see who the better man is, pretty much.
No, okay. So, lastly, I did actually see the very last fight as well against was it Kiki Toa Litelli.
Yep.
Now, there seemed to be quite a bit of a difference from, say, your first fight, where you was very much boxer, puncher, sort of holding feet here and there, but staying, using your feet, creating angles, picking your shots, and loading up with, good fast combinations, sort of getting in and out and trying to stay a bit more responsible. But in that last fight, you was very much in the phone booth, like, head guard, muffs up, and it's literally who falls first type thing. Now, where did that new style for you come from, especially when you run the risk of obviously taking a lot more shots in the
Yeah.
process? How did that develop?
I think it was just the change of trainer. Not change of trainer, but I was doing a lot of training with Justin Fortune. I done my whole camp over in LA at Fortune Gym, so um, I took I was learning a lot of new stuff of Justin and taking a lot of directions from him. Even during that fight, he was in my corner. So yeah, that I guess that's where that more of a aggressive style came into play. Um, but yeah, the back end of that fight, I went back to just boxing, staying long, and just picking my shots and boxing smart, pretty much.
So, of the two, which do you prefer, or do you actually like the hybrid of, okay, if I really got to get in the trenches, I'll be there, but let me just
Yeah,
pick you apart from the outside?
yeah, that's it. I think I like both equally. Like, it's good to know that if I need to stand in the inside and fight in the inside, I can do that as well. Um, but yeah, I like to stay out long and box at the same time. Um, so yeah, I like both styles equally.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, doing some of my research, like I said, I have actually sort of watched you from your pro debut, but um, you've had a bit of inactivity with hand issues. Is that correct? So
Yeah,
what's happening there? And like, just talk to me about sort of how that's how you've been managing to treat that.
my hands are all good now. After the Gallon fight, after my fifth fight, I had to have surgery on my index knuckle, which set me out for almost a year. And then I came back, had two fights, and then it's been a bit of a roller coaster since then with little injuries here and there. Um, 2 days before I was supposed to fly out for this fight in New Orleans, June 16, I rolled my ankle in my last sparring session in Australia. So yeah, there's been a fair few setbacks for myself, but I'm just grateful that I'm injury free now and um, almost a week out from fight night.
So speaking of obviously those injuries and those kind of setbacks, when they almost derail the momentum that you're picking up. How have you managed to stay like resilient and emotionally tough and mentally tough and with throughout that time? Like what have you had to do? What processes have you kind of undergone to sort of just stay sharp and stay ready?
Um, I think for me, it's just the fact that this is all I know. Pretty much, like this is my job, and yeah, I don't want to do anything else. So every time I have a little setback or whatever, I think the biggest setback for me was missing out on the Olympic Games, the 2020 Olympics, because that was a childhood dream that I set out for myself, and I was almost there. So I don't think it can get any worse than that. So every time I have a little setback, I just pick myself back up and get back into the gym and um, get that tunnel vision back as soon as possible, as soon as I can get back in the gym.
I hear that. I hear that. I mean, look, with regards to obviously, I guess the Olympics, like you had a lot of the current crop of the new heavyweights that are out now. You know, you get the likes of Bakadir Jalalov, for instance. You've got Richard Torres Jr. You've even got people turned over a little more like Jared Anderson. They all seem to be like the new crop coming up, and you're within that same league and that same crop. So outside of obviously what's about to take place next week, have you sort of got your eye on I guess, the next wave of the talent? And of those, who would be like the kind of the person or the people that you would really want to mix it up with to prove that, you're superior, especially as you didn't get the chance to do it at the Olympics?
Yeah, pretty much those guys that you just named. I fought two of them. I fought Richard in the Youth World Championships, and I fought Jabalov in the Olympic qualifiers, who I lost to. So yeah, I would love to get back in there and do it again, because as you know, the pro game is completely different to fighting in the amateurs, and it's a sprint compared to like a marathon. So um, I'm looking forward to getting back in there again in the near future. If I continue knocking a few more fights down, and hopefully meet up with those guys later on, and yeah, put on a
Fair enough.
show show the world what I've got to offer.
Okay, okay. So a bit earlier ago, you said that basically, look, boxing's all you know. It's your job. It's what you love to do. You don't want to do anything else. When did you start boxing, and what was the catalyst for you to start?
I started, so I was playing rugby league first, and I started doing boxing as well as rugby league just for fitness. And then I turned over and I started doing boxing and not rugby league anymore, just because it's more of an independent sport, and I had no one else to rely on except for myself. So, 10 years old, I had my first real boxing fight. I had fights before that at the age of 7, all the way up until 10 years old. And then 10 years old, the day I turned 10, I had my first real amateur boxing fight. So, yeah, from there, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. In 2015, I dropped out of school and made the decision to just do boxing full time. Um, this was the year of the Youth World Championships where I won gold. And it just showed me that if I put everything into what I love to do, I can get rewards from it. And I got rewarded that year, and from there I just been doing it full time ever since. So I think that just showed me that if I just focus on one thing, I didn't need a plan B, C. I just needed plan A, and I needed to give it 110%.
Okay. How did your family feel about like you obviously boxing as a career? Are they really supportive? Because I know from, I guess, the culture
Yeah.
that you come from, family is everything. So I'm assuming that you would have to get the support of the elders to be able to, take this on as a career. How does that all work, that dynamic?
Well, that was my dad's decision, who's my head coach. It was either boxing full time or go back and finish my last year of school. And yeah, at that point, I was overdoing any more schoolwork, so it was a pretty easy decision for me at the time to um, go with boxing full time. And yeah, my dad supported me, my mom supported me, and my siblings have backed me from the start pretty much. So yeah, I've got a good support crew around me.
Okay, okay. So look, let's talk a little bit about obviously your upcoming fight. Now you're taking on Andrew Tabiti, former cruiserweight title challenger. He sort of says he's flirting between cruiserweight division and heavyweight at the moment. Very, very tough fight to come back in, especially obviously sort of being a little bit inactive. But it's your first fight on Matchroom, so you get to kind of make a statement and be shown to a global platform as opposed to just the people who either know you in Australia or the people that have searched you out like myself from before. How excited are you about the fight, and like tell me what Andrew brings that you've got to be ready for?
I'm very excited, and to be able to perform over here in Cancun, um, I'm very grateful for. But yeah, it's a good fight for me. I haven't fought anyone so far as in the pro ranks as sharp as Andrew, so I'm looking forward to the chess match that is about to go down. I think I've done all the hard work in the gym, and I can't wait to live it all out there in the ring next Saturday.
Well, how long was training camp for this one? You strike me as someone that's always in the gym, but how long specifically did you say, all right, I'm training for his style?
Yeah, it's been about 10 weeks, but the first 5 weeks I was doing in Southpaw, so I was learning how to fight in Southpaw, and then the last 5 weeks I went back to Orthodox, and I just feel very refreshed, and um, it was good to go to trying to start a new style, and then coming back to everything I know in Orthodox. So yeah, I'm feeling sharp and I'm firing, and I'm ready to go for next week.
So is that you saying the plan is to be a switch hitter moving forward, or was that just to keep things fresh for your actual proper style?
You just have to wait and see.
Uh,
You just have to wait and see. Um, yeah, but yeah, like I said, it's made me refreshed in the Orthodox stance, and yeah, made me feel even faster and sharper. I'm sure I'll be able to keep up with the sharpness of and what he's got to bring. So yeah, I'm looking forward to mixing up with um, cruiserweight turn heavyweight.
okay. So with regards to this fight, now obviously this is like I said, this is your statement fight. You haven't been given an easy touch. That's something that Matchroom pretty much say they're not about, knockover jobs, highlight reels. They want their fighters to prove their worth. So with you, obviously the link up between Matchroom and Tasman Fighters, how do you think that's going to kind of benefit you moving forward? Being able to maybe put you into certain opportunities that maybe weren't as prevalent before.
Yeah, I think already it's created opportunities like for me to be fighting over here in Cancun, um, and reaching a whole new audience is it's just I still can't believe it myself. I'm just a young guy that's come from um, a small state in Australia, and to be fighting on the biggest platform is crazy to me. So I've got to go out there and give it my best show and my best shot, pretty much.
So how active do you want to be moving forward? Like if you obviously we know that things we can't always predict everything, but in your ideal scenario, especially obviously having had that year out, which probably stunted a bit of momentum for you, like how active would you be telling sort of Mick and Eddie, like, look, I want to kind of be out this many times next year after this fight?
I think I want to be. I want to finish the year with a bang. So I want to knock this fight down, and then um, hopefully come out of this fight injury free, and then go into hopefully have another fight in December, and then have a massive 2024 next year because I just need to keep the momentum going. Um, I can't keep having a fight and then waiting another year or so for the next one. I just want to keep going because the more fights I have, the more I'm going to progress.
So you're more interested in having the quick turnarounds and just keep building that way, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
Um, the more time I spend in the ring, the better I'm going to get, and the more I'm going to learn.
So you've got quite a big stable that is forming over in Australia at the moment. Obviously, you've got Jai, you've got your brother in the stable, and some other big names from Tasman. But No Limit, you've got people like Tim Zhu. You've also got George Cambosis, who have all been flying the flag. Jeff Horn was probably the first of major note for most people outside of Kostya Zhu. With you, when I spoke to Jai last week, he said that he wants to bring big time boxing to Australia. He wants to make big stadium fights over there. He believes that just like how AJ did for the UK, he wants to kind of almost be a catalyst like that over there. But then you've got Tim Zhu, who wants to fight in America. He wants to make his mark over there. What's your kind of overall goal and dream? Do you want to be a champion of Australia? Do you want to be a world traveler? Do you want to have a bigger fan base globally? Like, how do you want to see your career go down?
Yeah, I just want to be um, remembered worldwide. I would love to bring big fights back to Australia um, one day, but I gotta make my mark in the sport. I gotta let everyone know who I am first to gain that following, and for people to follow me back to Australia. So I just keep doing what I'm doing now, and taking whatever fights I can get to work my way up to that position. But yeah, I'd love to get in that position and have that opportunity one day to be able to, headline a massive card in Australia.
Okay. Look, I'm not normally a person that will sort of stoke rivalries and stoke fires, but on this occasion, as we've got quite a few sort of domestic heavyweights in the UK at the moment who are sort of making their way up to from maybe British, European level, we've got the likes of people like Fabio Wardley, David Adilier, Fraser Clark. I'm sure, especially someone like Fraser, his name you would have heard from the amateur
Yeah.
circuit. Um,
Yep.
have you kept an eye on any of the sort of the domestic talent over here? And is fighting in the UK something you would consider, moving forward? And who would you like to fight if you had the opportunity?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I've been watching all those guys over there and seeing the moves they've been making. Um, but yeah, I'd love to go over there and fight in the UK as well. I'm not really too picky about who I go up against. Whoever my team puts me in there with, I'll be ready. Come fight night. Um, but yeah, I just pretty much back myself all the way. You know, I don't really, I'm not really too worried about what these other guys have done because um, I've pretty much done like all the amateur background stuff as well. So yeah,
I've got two more questions for you, then I'll let you go. I appreciate your time. The first
for
one, um, again, going back to the Latelli fight, as I said, you was pretty much in the trenches a lot for the first part of that. You took some really heavy shots, and not one of them wobbled you. Where does the chin come from? Where does the resilience and the resolve come from? I need to understand like how you can take those shots and keep walking forward.
I don't know. I think it's just when you're expecting a shot. Um, I don't know. I guess you wear it a little bit better, but it's the shots that you don't see. Those are the ones that catch you off guard, and those are the ones that will put you out. So
So
I
so
think it
the
was
goal
just
is to see every shot coming, basically.
yeah, that's it. Just to stay alert and stay on point and never switch off during a fight. Because yeah, especially in the heavyweight division, that's all it takes is just one punch, and it can change the whole fight. You know, you could be winning the whole fight, and then one punch could change it all. So yeah, just never switch off. Never switch off. Always stay alert.
I think that's a motto for life as well. And the very last one from me,
Yeah,
taking it away from boxing very briefly. I know you're deep in training camp, so obviously you won't be doing it now. But away from boxing, I know you say this is all you want to do for work, but like, what do you do? What does Justis Huni do for pleasure? Like, what do you have any hobbies, things that you like to do
yeah.
outside of the ring?
I love fishing. I love fishing. That's um, in my downtime when I'm back home, like even in between training sessions, I love to be near the water and just wetting a line. You know, I love just the feeling of catching a fish, the adrenaline it gives you. So that's one of my main hobbies. You know, yeah, I love fishing.
Okay, so do you do it almost competitively, the same way that Jai does, or do you just like
Nah,
to do it
nah,
for fun?
I'm not that good. I just go out by myself in between sessions, and it's more of a relaxing. It's like it gives me peace just being there in the water and just being able to sit there and reflect at the same time. It's good for reflection. So yeah, that's something I love. I enjoy doing.
Okay. Well, look, Justice, thank you very much for your time. We will be tuned in on the zone watching your fight next week, Saturday, on the 28th of October. Wishing you good health leading up to the fight, good health afterwards. And yes, looking forward to what's happening in the future. And I hope that I can get to speak to you again, once the fight has concluded.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good. Thank you, Bella. I really appreciate the chat.
No worries, man. Signing out. Thank you very much. Speak soon.
See you
Take
later.
care. So if you've not had the opportunity to see Justis Huni before, like I said, 28th of October, you can watch on the zone. There are some of his old fights on YouTube at the minute. The fight against Faiga Opelu, I definitely would recommend watching, and the Kiki Toa Latelli fight as well. Those were definitely like fun fights. But yeah, big thanks to Mick Francis, TasmanFighters. I will be sort of linking up with a couple of the other roster members in due course. But yeah, thank you very much for everyone for watching. Like and subscribe as I shared. It's another Base Talks down. And yeah, let's see who we get to talk to next time. But until then, peace.